Hello folks! The first wave of Midnight's seasonal content is now up and running, and that of course includes the all-important Bountiful Delves and the ability to start pushing delves higher than level 7. So I thought that I would take you through the main changes to the seasonal delve lineup and how you can make the best use of them, no matter if this is your main source of gear progression or it's something that you'll be doing for a couple of weeks until you no longer need anything from them. Now, one thing to be aware of is that two of the new delves, the Darkway and Parhelion Plaza, are not going to be available until a little bit later. The Darkway will be opening up on the week of March the 24th, which is the week that Mythic Plus and the Mythic Raid opens up, and Parhelion Plaza opens up 1 week later again on March the 31st. But with Midnight introducing a total of 10 new delves, that still means that we'll have the other 8 to be getting our teeth into in the meantime. And the first and possibly biggest change you're going to notice with the new seasonal delves is how we'll be acquiring Coffer Keys. In the War Within, we were granted Coffer Keys from the first 4 pinnacle chests that we opened up, and we were able to grind out more by farming Coffer Key shards from those World Soul Memory events. Now in Midnight, that World Soul Memory grind just doesn't exist at all. Instead, Coffer Key shards will be dropping from pretty much all open world content and activities that you do, and this has a weekly cap of 600. And this does equate to just 6 full Coffer Keys a week. In addition to that, once you reach rank 6 of the Delver's Journey, you'll be able to purchase 2 more per week for a total of 8. Now, you've probably already noticed that there's been no sign at all of any Coffer Key shards in the pre-season period, meaning that unlike in the War Within, we will not be able to save up a backlog of restored Coffer Keys ready to go. And this does mean that access to those bountiful treasures and bountiful delves will be a bit more limited than it was in the War Within, especially in the early weeks of the season. Now, if you've already been running some non-bountiful delves in the pre-season period, you'll have already noticed another major change, which is a marked reduction in the number of Affix-like mechanics, such as those annoying totems or Nerubian webs that we had to deal with in the War Within. Instead, many of the delves now have some more positive effects, such as clickable masks, scrolls or totems that will offer you buffs to help you speed up and improve your journeys. And if you're someone who's a bit tired with being told, "Don't stand there," all the time, you will be relieved to see the arrival of a brand new delve companion, Valeera Sanguinar. Now, I have seen some complaints about Valeera being a bit on the weak side, but that really should not be a surprise, as she'll be starting out at level 1. Just remember, at the end of the War Within, Bran ended up at level 100, so Valeera definitely has a bit of catching up to do before we'll start to see the level of power that we were used to from Bran. Beyond that though, Valeera will be pretty familiar, albeit with hopefully a lot less wearing voice lines, offering tank, DPS and healing roles along with those selectable damage and utility curio slots. One small but very nice quality of life improvement is that as a rogue, Valeera will routinely enter stealth out of combat, making her much less prone to body pulling enemies that you don't want to be pulled. Her most notable abilities in DPS mode is Jagged Caltrops, which drops a field of sharp claws which slow your enemies by 70%, making them a lot easier to kite. And in healing mode, you can expect to see Crimson Vial Fumes, which creates an AoE heal over time effect. And basically, with either of those effects, you do want to stand in them, or in the case of those caltrops, at least try to kite your enemies through them. Now, if you do delves as a DPS, I do recommend starting out with Valeera set to healing mode. At low levels, her DPS is very weak compared to her healing, but once you do level her up a bit and you become comfortable with the incoming damage, you can switch over to DPS mode at those higher levels, as it will eventually start helping to speed up your runs. And if you do delves as a tank, you might as well go straight to DPS, as her DPS will be a lot more relevant for you when being compared to your tank DPS output. And for a healer, honestly, I really don't recommend doing delves in healing spec at all. But if you really do want to go that route, you will want to set Valeera to tank mode. But now let's take a look at the brand new Curios, as they have had quite a bit of a revamp. As with the War Within, Curios have a chance to drop from the end of delve rewards, but the order in which they do drop is random, but you usually should expect to get at least one Curio each run, meaning that it shouldn't take too long to get a full set. And again, each Curio is going to have 4 ranks in total. Now, for your combat slot, you will want to watch out for the Porcelain Blade tip, which will offer you a 5% crit buff. This was recently nerfed a bit, but does still remain ahead of the other options. The main alternatives are going to be Holy Bounding Hand Grenade, which stuns and damages enemies with a chance to chain to other targets, and Nether Entropic Kits, which places a dot on your targets and can also chain to at least 2 other enemies. Overall, once you've obtained all the max rank Curios, I will recommend that you stick with that Porcelain Blade tip. But during the rank up process, you will want to use whichever of these 3 that I mentioned has the highest rank. On screen now is a priority list of these and the other damage Curios to help you decide what to use before you eventually manage to get your top picks. Moving on to the utility Curios, and there is one major standout, Mandate of Sacred Death, which will give you and your other party members an 8% chance to deal 2% of your enemy's max health as damage, along with a very small chance to execute your target. As it stands, this is pretty overpowered, and I suspect that it may get a nerf, but for now you will want to select this as soon as you get it at any rank. And for the runner-up utility Curios, we have Overflowing Void Spire, which after 25 seconds of combat increases your damage for 18% for 35 seconds, and even Crown of Subjugation, which causes a little worshipper to spawn whenever you open a mislaid Curio, increasing your primary stats by 2%, and you will be able to collect up to 12 of these warriors, with that stat buff increasing noticeably once you get 6 or more. Both of these are pretty good options, and if you don't have Mandate of Sacred Death, you will want to use whichever of these happens to have the highest rank. And again, here's a full rank list of the options you have for the utility slot that you can use until you get one of your top picks. But now let's move on to gameplay. As I mentioned earlier, there is a noticeable absence of Affix-like mechanics, but we do still have access to a number of very positive on-use effects. The first of these is a bit of a new addition. Once you reach rank 1 of your Delver's journey, looting mislaid Curios will grant you boons, which can increase your stats, movement speed, or health. Rare enemies within Delves are also making a return, and will continue to offer you bonus passives, including Banshee's Wail, which fears your enemies, Clever Saptor, which can summon a Saptor as an assistant, Abandoned Sentinel, whose ability knocks enemies into the air and increasing your crit chance, and when running level 4 and above Delves, there will be new sets of themed Nemesis enemies, which will spawn in increasing numbers as you increase your Delve level, and who on defeat will grant you an upgrade to a dedicated bonus reward chest at the end of the Delve. And one really nice quality of life change for Midnight is that these packs are now going to be visible on the map to help you find them, which is super important, as in Midnight there are several open world Delves which have a much less linear layout than what we were used to in the War Within. But for now, let's go on to take a look at rewards. As with the War Within, each day 4 of the Delves will be designated as Bountiful Delves and will be highlighted on the main map with a glowing icon. These will rotate randomly on a daily basis, but are the same for all players every day. Bountiful Delves offer you 1 extra reward chest on completion, known as the Hidden Trove, which can be opened using one of your precious restored coffer keys. And this will be the source of your main gear rewards from Delves. As with the War Within, completing bountiful delves by killing the final boss will cause that delve to lose its bountiful status for the day. So you will want to be very careful about doing these if you don't have a key to use. On screen right now is a chart with the level of gear that you can expect for each level of delve. But the most notable thing to call out is that champion gear drops start at level 7 and level 8 delves will, as with the War Within, be the one that gives you the best gear reward. And completing delves, regardless of whether they're bountiful or not, will also grant you progress towards your weekly Great Vault, with again level 8 and above granting you a hero piece every week. On top of that, the Delver's Bounty maps, which are being renamed to Trove Hunter's Bounty, are making a return. These maps have a chance to drop from the end of delve chests in bountiful delves and do have a bad luck protection system, but are also capped to a maximum of 1 every week. These are also guaranteed to drop from Neleus, the new Season 1 Nemesis boss, who will have a chance of showing up during your bountiful delve runs. That is, of course, assuming that you haven't already had a map that week when he does show up. Once you do loot the map, you can use it any time before defeating the final boss in a bountiful delve to unlock the Trove Hunter's Bounty chest. And on screen now is the gear reward that you can expect from that chest. In addition, once you reach rank 4 on the Delver's Journey, this chest will also award you 10 gilded crests. The opening up of the new season will also bring with it the launch of a new Delver's Journey, which is a reward track that will gradually open up new rewards for you as you progress your bountiful delves. As you complete bountiful delves, you will earn Delver's Journey progress. The amount will depend on the level of the delve up to level 8, and you'll also be able to earn bonus progress from using a restored Coffer Key or from a weekly quest that you will get from your first bountiful delve that you complete every week. And the most notable rewards from the Delver's Bounty track will include from rank 1, the ability to get those temporary buffs from Delve Curios. Rank 2 will see gilded stashes starting to drop from the first 3 tier 11 delves that you do each week, albeit at this stage they will not be dropping myth crests. And rank 3 will see a sanctified banner spawn somewhere within the delve, which will offer you increased rewards if you manage to find it. Rank 4 is when you'll eventually start to see those gilded stashes start to reward you the all-important myth crests, with 7 per stash for a total of 21. Now this does mean that you will not be able to get myth crests from your delves right at the start of the season, as they are very effectively time gated. Moving on to rank 5, and this is where we'll see the delve trinket vendor start to show up in tier 6 and above delves. Rank 6 gives you the ability to buy 2 restored coffer keys per week to add to the 6 you can get from open world content. Rank 8 will see a chance for champion warbound gear for your alts to start to drop from the end of delve chests. Rank 9 will unlock a chance to get hero gear from any tier 11 bountiful coffer, or alternatively a special currency called untainted mana crystals, which you can use on the delve trinket vendor to save those precious undercoin. And from this rank onwards, those rank 8 to 10 delves will also start offering small amounts of that currency as well. And finally, rank 10 will increase the number of coffer key shards that will be dropping from the open world. And last up, the new delve challenge boss is called Neleus, and he'll be hanging out in a special one boss delve called Torment's Rise. As with the War Within, there are going to be 2 difficulties, question mark and double question mark. Overall, this boss does seem to be quite a bit easier than those from the War Within. But I do still have one little tip for you, and that is to change your utility curio to use the overflowing Void Spire instead of Mandate of Sacred Death. The reason for this is that Mandate relies on Valeera gathering herbs and ores, which don't exist in this encounter, and Overflowing Void Spire benefits very heavily from longer encounters like this. The double question mark difficulty will this time around be rewarding a fully fledged mount, the Arcano Void Construct, and this will be a guaranteed drop until the end of the first season, where it will very likely switch to be a very low, probably 1% drop chance thereafter. And while on the subject of mounts, there are 3 other mounts that you can earn this season. Rank 5 of the Delver's Journey will unlock Silvermoon's Arcane Defender, and the Elven Arcane Guardian can be purchased for 10,000 Undercoin. And as with the War Within, there is a Glory of the Midnight Delver achievement offering the Gigantomanus. This time around, that Glory achievement is going to be a little bit easier to complete, as it only requires collecting all 3 chests from every delve, something that I do recommend you do in your first run of each delve, along with every story of every delve, which will be made easier this time around as the entrance tooltip now tells you which story is active each day. So basically, when deciding which delve or delves to do each day, just check for the ones that have stories you haven't done yet. Along with that, you'll also need to collect every curio for Valeera, something that will just happen organically, probably before you complete any of the other requirements. And finally, to defeat Naleus on single ? Difficulty. Now, I do recommend that you make a point of getting the Glory achievement done in Season 1. In the War Within, Blizzard did retrospectively add additional delves and challenge bosses to that achievement, which made it a bit more time consuming and harder to do later on. But that's it for Midnight's Season 1 of Delves. I personally recommend that you aim to be doing level 8 delves as soon as you possibly can to maximise your Great Vault and Bountiful delve rewards. And after hitting rank 3 on the Delver's Journey, if you can, I recommend doing a level 9 and level 10 delve as soon as possible to make sure that those level 11 delves will be open and waiting for you when you hit rank 4 on the Delver's Journey and can start to get those myth crests. After you do hit rank 4, you will want to focus on level 11 delves, at least for your 3 weekly gilded stash runs and for your Delver's Bounty Map run. You can still run level 8 for the remainder each week, albeit it is worth bearing in mind that from Delver's Journey rank 9, it will be worth doing at least level 9 delves for that chance at Champion Warbound gear, and from Delver's Journey rank 9, doing only level 11 delves for that chance at extra hero track gear, assuming that you still need it by that point. Now, with Bountiful Coffer Keys being capped to 6 every week, it may be tempting to just make do with doing 6 delve runs each week. But do keep in mind that the Great Vault does require 8 runs to fully unlock every slot, and those extra 2 do not require you to have keys or even to be a Bountiful delve. That said, the new prey system does also offer hero level vault gear from the vault on Nightmare difficulty, and those could be used as an alternative option. That would though mean missing out on some of your Delver's Journey progress, which at least until you reach rank 4 and open up that option to get gilded crests, you probably will want to make sure you do get. And just in case you are a delve only player who's wondering what use those gilded crests are going to be when you're only getting hero track gear, you will still be able to use them to get crafted gear at a substantially higher item level than any delve drop. At max rank, crafted gear reaches item level 285, which will compare to the hero track, which caps out at 276. If you found this guide helpful, entertaining, and even just plain annoying, then do let me know by hitting that like icon. And if you want to support my channel to grow and help me to make more of these videos along with my other content, then hit that subscribe button right now before you forget. If you don't want to miss out whenever I release a new video, then as well as subscribing, you can follow me in social media for updates. The link's in the description below as well. And I've also started streaming on my new Twitch channel on Wednesdays, Saturdays and Sundays. And as with my social media links, you'll be able to find the details below. And I hope you'll be able to join me on my journey of exploration through Midnight. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.